Hey everybody, thank you all very much for watching today. I wanted to bring a very dear friend of mine on here. He started out as a client, but we have become really, really good friends over these years. And he's got a pretty awesome story. So I wanted to bring him on. I wanted to do a video about this because I believe there are a lot of other guys in similar shoes to Rene when we came in contact, when we got connected, when he ended up finding us, and his story can definitely it can inspire a lot of people. So I wanted to give him a platform to share it. And yeah, Rene, please introduce yourself. Say hi to everybody.
Well, thanks, Justin. Those are some kind words. Well,
You're welcome, pal.
29 years old. I was not expecting at all to go down this road of health and all the other amazing changes they helped me have. Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been intense. I'm not the same person, and it's awesome. Really appreciate that. So yeah, I liked athletics and all that, and really happy with what happened.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so just for everybody listening, I know the story, but can you tell everybody watching, just kind of recap everybody, how did this whole thing happen? What's the backstory? How did we get connected? How did this whole thing start? What was the thing for you that was like, yeah, this is the route I want to go down?
Yeah. So a former client of yours became a coworker of mine at a job site, and he blew me away. He was working so hard, and he was skinny, tall kid. I did kickboxing, weightlifting, wrestling, all these things, and this guy was outworking me all day. And I was like, what the heck is going on? We're moving heavy things, and he's way scrawnier than me. And he's telling me these amazing things like...
It's the beard. Shout out, Garage. It's the beard. That's what it was.
And he was telling me that recently, like I don't know, a couple years before I met him, he was dying of glyphosate poisoning.
Yep.
And a certain health coach helped him, and he was telling me all these amazing things that happened to help him change. He was telling me to talk to the health coach, but I really put it off. I was so egotistical at the time. And it took a couple months later, after I got shingles at 27, or no, even 25 maybe, somewhere around there, where I was so sick for a while, and then one day I was just on the toilet, and it hit me out of the blue, like lightning, like, I gotta call Ron. And then I start looking online frantically for this guy's name and number, because I didn't get it from GoRaj, and I find it, and I shoot him a text message, and we get on a phone call, and that one phone call that I had with Ron was the most impactful conversation I ever had with anyone in my entire life. Like, it completely changed me. Even though it was a free call, we just had a conversation, I actually sent him money because I was so grateful. It blew my mind.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Right then and there.
Cool. So, what did you get from working with us? What has this whole experience been like for you? What is like, describe who you were before, where you're at now, and then just kind of walk the people through the whole process. Like, what's some stuff you did, what worked really well, what didn't work that well, just what's your story?
So before, I was one of these guys that was going down like a really strict spiritual path of like self-discovery, trying to find my life purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all these ideas, and I was kind of stuck between a crossroad of like, go down this route because I was like a normal guy. I wanted to be a partier and be a life of the party and loved by a lot of people. And so I kind of wanted to go down that route, like researching pickup artists maybe, or something like that.
Right.
And then the other one was this hardcore, devout spiritual route, and I was kind of like at a crossroads. I was in an unhealthy relationship where I didn't like the girl very much, and she didn't like me very much. But we lived in the same home, and it was just fighting all the time.
That's a disaster.
Yeah, dude, it was brutal. And I constantly would tell her to leave. She would fight me and stuff, and I had no self-esteem to actually make it happen. But then after I talked to your dad,
Mm-hmm.
an immediate shift happened to where I quit smoking weed after a couple conversations with him. I quit drinking coffee. I quit eating bad food, and I got that girl out of my life immediately. Like, I just had the self-esteem suddenly to just no longer put up with that. I just completely cut her out. I went and I saw your dad in person.
Do you think it was maybe because you finally had like a healthy bald role model? Could that have been it?
Some things he told me on the phone completely shifted the way I saw reality, because he said to me, if everything that you're doing worked, where are your results? because I'd been pursuing this path of like trying to manifest my life through these teachings online
Yep.
for 6 years, and my life was worse then than ever before starting. And that was a wake up call. I'm like, oh my god, there's no results.
No kidding. If something's not working, it's not working.
So I think it was a good realization that nothing I was doing was working. I was just ready to change because he helped
That's
me
cool.
realize that.
That's cool.
And
That's
then when I saw him, he showed me the results he's gotten through his water technology and then how he coaches his people and how he taught me about the gut and how to like achieve more in life through a deeper connection was it was so insightful and inspiring for me that I fell in love with everything he was teaching right then and there, and I applied. I hired him as a coach. I started doing his detox, and I noticed as I cleansed my own colon, one, just by making a couple of changes, not even really doing much at all, not even exercising, I dropped 20 pounds in 20 days. And then over the next 4 months, I dropped 40 pounds. And I wasn't obese. I was just kind of like a little bit big. I was like 210 pounds-ish.
Right. Yep.
Right? I'm like 5'11".
Yep.
And the biggest, most impactful thing that happened was actually the colon cleanse. When I dropped some feces, I would notice these very intense experiences just from bowel movements moving through me. And then when they would leave my body, my whole mood and frequency, I just felt so much better immediately when these toxins
It was like
fell out
like
of my body.
like a euphoric crap.
More than that, it was like as if someone was holding me underwater. Like imagine I'm a beach ball and someone's holding me underwater, but I didn't know it. And then all of a sudden they let go and I just bobbed up above the water and just flew up and stayed up.
Wow.
Was on top of the surface. That was like this one bowel movement
I
I
don't
had.
know if I've ever heard anybody in my life describe a bowel movement like that. That's a good
It was
one.
the mood because I was having a crummy day,
Yep,
and
yep.
it was just like continually. I was never really in a great mood, and then this massive shift happened over and over and over again from
Yep.
bowel movements
Wow.
to where it just got happier and happier and happier until I was kind of like in this enlightened state of just feeling like a fresh breath of air, inside and out. It was amazing.
That's
Still is
really cool.
amazing.
That's amazing. Okay, so you did some work on your gut health. You lost all this weight. Anything else? Anything else happen? And like, what did you do exactly? What was your program like? What were the main things you guys were focusing on? That sort of stuff.
Hydration.
Mm-hmm.
Hydration, clean eating, like I would say 90% raw diet initially, just for the cleansing, killing the parasites, getting the feces
Right.
out. So a lot of the weight I lost was poop. Like, oh, dude, like, well,
You'd think that like, I mean, I must be just so immature. I don't know, but you think that like doing this for almost like over 10 years, hearing about all these different poop stories, that I would stop laughing every time somebody starts talking about it. But I don't know. I'm a 13-year-old boy, I guess.
yeah, same here. Yeah, the parasite cleanse and getting the poop out,
Yep.
getting hydrated actually for the first time. Like I would
Mhm.
notice when I would drink enough water, that was a euphoric experience.
Right.
You would actually get extremely clear-headed, like to the point where you're just kind of in a flow
Absolutely.
state just from getting hydrated.
Totally. Yep.
Hmm.
All these
And
guys.
then talking with your dad.
Mushrooms, buying nootropics, all that kind of stuff. So all they got to do is just get a well freaking hydrated brain. All the electrons can work properly. These guys are sleeping on it.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And your dad was teaching me a lot of things. Like prior to, I was always very self-insecure. I was controlled by women a lot. I had a bit of like just no care for myself. I just didn't have any standards whatsoever. Like when I met you guys, I was living in that 180 square foot apartment. It was kind
I
of like
remember
like a rundown mobile home that was
Yep,
on a
the
building.
mansion. The mansion, I remember.
Yeah.
I
thought
honestly,
that was
I've
awesome.
never in my life, except outside like maybe like a third world country, ever seen a smaller apartment ever than yours.
Yeah, neither have I.
It was tiny. Okay, for context, just so everybody can kind of get the idea. So this thing was like one long, not long. It was like one medium-sized hallway, and then just across the hallway you had different things on different sides. So you had like your kitchen, your living room, your bathroom. Everything was all connected through this one central path, and then you had your bedroom with like this little tiny den, this little hole in the wall with just little your bed there, and then it was just like it was run down. It was not a good situation. And it was so small. It was so small. And like I had no idea how small it was because the whole time you were talking about it, like up to this point when you had this kind of like a epiphany or mental transformation, whatever you want to call it, where you thought everything was going well in your life until you had that realization, like, well, okay, yeah, never mind, I have nothing that I want. You talked about it like it was this great place, and so I go there and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like I'd expect this out of some slum from like the poorest part of India.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have helped me so much with my mindset. Like, for example, not too long ago, I did 1,000 squats, and I didn't even think that was humanly possible.
Right.
That's
And
I wasn't even
it's not like
trained.
it was like the easiest thing in the world, but you've become so much more mentally tough and disciplined compared to how you were back then. You just forced your body to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Cleaner eating,
Just
and it's
broke
easy
through
to
those
eat
mental
clean.
barriers.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, like
So
now I'm
I
extremely
know
hopeful for the
I
future.
know a big part about your story is it's all kind of centered around health, but a lot of it too is about what just I guess being healthier in your body has just done for you mentally and how that's enabled you to just change your thinking, change your perspective, and what would you say that's done for your life overall? Like I know you have like history with different addictions and things like that, and that's complete history now. Like how does all that feel? How do you see yourself these days versus back then? Just what your self-esteem like? How are things on the mental front?
hmm Back then, I was like, I was living a lie. I thought I was extremely happy. I thought I was doing really well because I was programmed to do all this positive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
positive self-talk and whatnot, but it never really panned out to anything. And then, but now that I've actually, because of meeting you guys and seeing what you're doing and how you've helped people in ways that I never even thought were possible, I know what I want to do with my life, and I see the impact that it can create, and I see all the options and availabilities and the income sources as well, which are just mind blowing, really.
Right.
That my future is limitless. And now, whereas before I was lost and confused, insecure, unsure about what to do, and not even concerned about if I died or not, because I thought, I was just so loose about everything. Now I understand what I can actually do, how I can help people, that I actually want to help people, that I love people, and I want to do good. And there's so much I can do. Since before, it was just kind of like a black, twisted, sort of dead end, and now it's just this open, beautiful, awesome valley that's just limitless into an amazing future. And I'm really excited just as life continues. It just keeps getting better and better and better and better.
That's really cool. That's a good way to put it. What about like you mentioned that you used to smoke pot all the time? Is there anything else from your past that you struggled to overcome that you just tried to maybe even didn't even try, but just like what has what kind of bad habits, what bad things in your life that you had before that you've replaced that with or you changed that with now? Like how have things that kind of held you bondage before are how have you overcome those kinds of things?
Well, depending on your audience, this might be too intimate or not, but I was pretty addicted to pornography and masturbation. And since meeting you guys, like I got a new value and standard for my life and how to treat other people. And I see now that that's not a healthy way to view people or to treat myself or content to absorb in any way. And so like all of that, the mental real estate of thinking about women, pornography, masturbation, that entire part of my life is not there anymore. Where before, I was trying to build a business online a few years ago before I met you guys, and it just didn't work out because more than half of my day I was being tortured with thoughts of, because I was like a lonely loser. I'm like, oh, I gotta go out, I gotta go meet chicks, I gotta get laid. Oh, this
Right.
same story that probably most dudes are facing right now,
Totally.
and being past that so far towards not even a part of my life in any way whatsoever is so liberating. I can't even. Yeah, it's just awesome because I've
How
tried
long has it
before.
been
Like,
since you last watched porn?
well, since I met you guys when I was 4 years.
That's, dude. Do you have any idea how amazing that is? Like porn. all these sexual addictions, all these things that us guys get exposed to from like such a crazy young age now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is such that's just as powerful of an addiction as like crack or heroin, you know. So I mean, that's just if there's any guys listening, you know, just if nothing else, I just want Rene to be proof to you guys that it's possible, you know, because there's so many guys, like we all know them, you know them, I know them, we all have friends, we've talked to other guys before, and they're all, you know, just locked in this endless cycle. And I don't care what anybody says, there's not a single guy ever that feels empowered or good or confident or gets confidence from watching porn and you know, doing his thing. And still 4 years cold turkey, and it's not even a thing you think about anymore. You know, it wasn't like some massive mental battle where you're just going in some 6 month long detox and you're like having to throw your phone away, otherwise you're going to be tempted. You know, it's just you were able to kind of shift your thinking, just change some stuff internally, and I mean, you know, overcome something that powerful on so many millions of dudes. That's amazing. That is such a cool part of your story. Because like, wow. I mean, you know a little bit about my history with it and stuff like that, you know, and it's just it's always so amazing to see another guy around my age that can get free from that kind of thing, because it's just so disgusting. It's so brutal, and what it does to men, it's just evil, you know. So that's really cool. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I've gone before like 5 months. I was really motivated to stop watching porn.
Yeah.
But so that I could be more of a man, so I can get laid in person. So I wasn't free
Right.
of it.
Not exactly
mentally.
the best motivation behind it.
Yeah, so inevitably I'm going to slip back in due to just, you know, the whole mindset
Yeah.
behind it. But then now
Yeah.
being completely removed, I don't know how anyone gets anything done if they're just thinking about that all day.
Right? Well, you wonder why all these guys are so depressed and anxious, like on top of all the crazy mental torture and stuff that does to a guy, you know, like what that does to your soul, to your spirit, you know. But like men, we're built to do things. We're built to achieve and accomplish stuff, you know. And you wonder why they're all so stressed out and depressed and anxious, and they have no focus anymore because they can't get nothing done because all their minds just focused on women and the internet, you know. So that's just, you nailed it totally on the head, man. Like I don't get it either. All these dudes complaining about they don't have enough money, they don't have a fancy enough car, they don't have a big enough house, they're worried about bills and stuff, and they're just spending hours and hours just doing nothing. And then they wonder why they don't feel good about themselves. They got no confidence.
Yeah, so I mean, my heart goes out to those guys. Some people look at it and they're actually willing to face the fact that they're addicted and they need to get free from it, but other people are just stuck in it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean it's I'm just happy that you were able to find that inner strength, that inner peace to get out of that kind of thing. Because I mean, you know, I know from a lot of the things you shared with me before just how all consuming it was, and to see where you are now, man, it's just it's really freaking cool just to get to watch this happen over these last few years, to see how much you've grown, see how much the beards come in. It's a beautiful thing.
a dream I had for a long time was to be able to view all people as just people. It was like a spiritual aspiration where I thought it could maybe be possible to see women as just people, and that's actually real now.
Right? And that's not real if you got some kind of a porn addiction. I mean, you don't I don't care what anybody says, it changes how you see women.
It does. Yeah.
Totally.
So I love that I can just meet anybody and then they're all people and I like them equally.
Yep.
There's no
Exactly.
weird favoritism if there's a girl that I'm attracted to or not, because it's just they're people. It's amazing.
Yeah. No kidding. That's awesome, man. Okay, well, you're a busy guy. I don't want to take you too long. I really appreciate your time and coming in and sharing your story. I mean, you know, like I said, I believe that stories like yours can inspire so many people, and the fact that it's real and it's true. If you can do it, then it's possible for guys like me and everybody else watching. You know what I mean? You don't have to have you don't have to be born into some mega rich family or nothing like that. You don't have to hire psychiatrists for thousands of dollars an hour and talk about your childhood trauma for 16 years. You know what I mean? Just focus on you, get your health right, get your mind right, and you can do amazing things.
Yep, I've noticed for sure getting healthy unlocked a lot of keys for me to be able to even do the things that I didn't think were possible mentally.
Totally, totally. Well, I mean, just the way your gut and your brain are connected, like that alone, just physiologically, it's impossible to have a healthy brain if you do not have a healthy body. It's not. It's never going to happen ever. You know.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. That's really cool. Thank you so much. Do you have any wise words, any piece of advice or anything you want to say to anyone watching?
I've learned from personal experience that you cannot get what you want in this world without having someone who's already done it to show you. Otherwise, it's a really long, challenging road to get there. Because I did that for years. I tried to figure it out, but if I don't know how to get there, figuring out how to get there is just way too convoluted. I was listening to every single teacher online, picking up this, and if I think it's good, if I think it's the right thing, it doesn't mean it's right because I have never been successful, so I don't know what works or not.
Right.
But someone who has been there, they've done that, they have the results you want, then they will have the answers for you too.
Beautiful. I could not have said it better myself. All right, Rene McLaren, thank you very much. We'll do an updated one when you're actually driving in a McLaren. We'll have you doing it from sitting in your McLaren. But yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You did great, dude. Awesome. Thank you so much. Love you, buddy. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, love you too. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.
Bye, pal.